Hi everybody. This is a letter from October 3rd. Did I read that yesterday? I'm missing the rest of it. Oh, this is from August 5th, 2023. Yesterday I went to see my children. I went there with low expectations. I had been gathering school supplies for them over the years, and I had massed a lot. It was either give them away or take them to my children. I chose the latter. I told some people I was going to see my children, and they all advised me to be careful. I saw 2 cars on the driveway. I figured, this is on Reidle Road. I figured their father was home. I rang the Ring doorbell. His girlfriend, Jalen Garcia, came to the door. She waved her 4th finger side to side, like that. Motion. She's never met me. I have only ever had one interaction with her, and that was on Facebook. She came up as a suggested friend, and so I added her. Then she responded, "Do I know you?" And then she said, "I know who you are." It was clear from the interaction that she had digested every negative word Paul Brian Baca told her about me. I began dropping off all of the school supplies, over $500 over the years, including $150 scientific calculator. I saw her on the phone. I knew she was either calling Paul Brian Baca, Red Bloom Road, or the cops. I kept unloading everything. I had imagined my boys running to the car to help me. Instead, all the copybooks were falling to the road. They were all falling out of the car on the passenger's side. I kept knocking on the door, calling Caden, calling Colin. I didn't know things were a lot worse than I ever thought. Over the last 7 years, I have called Child Protective Services many times. They're always told me the same thing. If there's no physical abuse, they can't do anything. They would take my report, and then I would get a letter in the mail saying it hasn't risen to the occasion of child abuse. So it always got dismissed. I knew it was the last cause. I had no actual proof they were abusing the children. It was my word against theirs. Paul Brian Baca's father, ex-police chief Samuel Baca, who's going to listen to me, to an over-emotional mother from Ireland. Certainly no one in law enforcement, not Judge Lamar, Santa Fe, Judge Ramirez, Albuquerque, Stephen Klump, and the last person, Armond Carion, the most expensive lawyer in Albuquerque. Before I left my house to go to do the hour drive to Albuquerque, I was putting stuff in my car. I saw a yellow butterfly. Every time I see a large yellow butterfly, I think of my mom. I saw the butterfly all the time in the marital home after we were separated. I did some window shopping before getting up the nerve to drive to Paul Brian Baca's house. His remission cancer survivor girlfriend, who can't work because she's in remission, was there. Well, that's the story he told the court. When we were married, he couldn't wait for me to work. When the police came, as I knew they would, one was a complete jerk, the other was a semi-nice. He finally told me he would ask the children if they wanted to talk to me. My immediate response was, "Please, that's all I'm asking. If they tell me to my face they never want to see me again, I will leave them alone." This was through eyes swollen from crying. I wear my heart in my sleeve. To my huge surprise, it was my 17-year-old son, Connor. I thought Connor hated me. He'd grown so tall. He looks completely different than I remembered. If I hadn't seen his picture on Facebook, I would be completely shocked. I could see so much sadness and confusion in his face. He wanted to hug me, but he was afraid. I told him I loved him, and I asked him if he wanted my number. His response was, "I can't." And I said, "You can't?" And then he told me he wasn't allowed to. I asked him, "Who's telling you that?" I could only guess. He said he can't tell me. This is a direct violation of the court order, which states that the children can reach out to me whenever they want, something that they were never told by anyone, by Paul Brian Baca, by Vera Jennie Shulte, or by Samuel Baca. Instead, they're telling them that they're not allowed to talk to me. All along, I was completely disappointed. I never heard from any of my children, and now it all made sense. When I left, I kept telling myself I was never going to write to them again. I had done everything I can. Now it was up to them. They are clearly being brainwashed to hate their mother, and the New Mexico Albuquerque court is allowing it, even encouraging it. They said I cannot reach out to the boys in any way. If they want to reach out to me, they can. Well, if they are not allowed to talk to me, how is that going to work? I've spent the last 7 years fighting the court for my children. It's 8 years now. Also, the police officers kept telling me, they don't want any of your stuff. Everything I had given them. I replied, it's not for them. It's for the children. I had lots of pictures of the children from when they were younger. I was not going to load everything back in the car again. I came home to Santa Fe. I took 2 sleeping pills because I was emotionally exhausted. And it didn't work. I still woke up around 3 a.m. I kept going over in my mind, what can I do? Then I decided one last time to call Child Protective Services like I have many times before. The thing is, I don't want my children to be drug addicts when they get older because they harbor so much hurt and confusion. I don't want them to grow up hating their mom. I want them to know that I love them so much. I have tried everything I can. I have no more money for lawyers. That money is going to the child support I pay every month, and I wasn't even working at the time. I was in school. I completed my 2 degrees from Santa Fe Community College, so now I am job hunting. It is hard to find a job when you have so much psychological trauma. The most important reason I called Child Protective Service is because my neighbor, who was 22 years old, committed suicide 2 years ago in July. I don't want that to be any of my sons. I am deeply concerned with their welfare. Psychological abuse lasts way longer than physical abuse. And just because I can't report physical abuse does not mean my children are safe. I mentioned teen suicide to let them know if anything happened to any of my children, I'm going to put it on them for ignoring all of my concerns. That's Child Protective Services. I put this out there for 2 reasons. 1 is to get my story out there. 2 is so my boys can read my letters. 3, by any miracle, if there is anyone out there that can relate to parental alienation, you are not alone. And 4, if there is anyone who reads this who have the resources to help, that would be amazing. This is my story. I love you, boys. Connor, Caden, and Colin, I'm here from you. My door is always open. Love, Mom.